NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring you latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. I don't even know what really to say at this point. I really don't. I mean, this is just a disaster. This is a nightmare. This is everything I was afraid of. The Nets have just lost 7 games in a row. And things don't look much better moving forward with this team. I mean, I'm debating if I'm gonna work myself up that much this episode and get all angry and scream at the camera like I always do, or if I'm just gonna sit back and just almost accept the disaster that is this Nets team right now. Because I mean, I talked about my last episode losing those 3 games that they lost, how bad that was, and I said they needed to bounce back. They needed to go at least 2-2 the next 4 games. Or really, I said 2-3 or 3-2 the next 5, whatever. Well, that obviously didn't happen. You lose to the Mavericks. Whatever. Doncic is Doncic, and he was great. They lose to the Raptors, which, by the way, the Raptors didn't have Pascal Siakam or Marc Gasol playing in that game. But as we all know, the Nets don't ever win, even when the star player is not playing on the other team, so that was irrelevant. Played against the Magic, a game that, a team that, the Nets were above in the standings, but, not anymore, And then, a game against the Thunder, where they played the best they've played in this 7-game losing streak, that game against the Thunder. And I'm watching that game. And I'm watching, Caris LeVert playing in only his 2nd game back because he rested the first game against the Magic, which, that's probably what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get into that in a second. But I'm watching this game, and I'm watching as the Nets have a lead in the 4th quarter, and I just shrug, and I say to myself, well, let's see how they blow this. Let's see how the Nets blow this. The Nets were down most of the game. They stormed back. They took the lead. Not a big lead. I think they were only up by 4 at the most or 6 or something like that. But they took the lead. Let's see how they blow this. And sure enough, they blow it. Chris Paul couldn't miss. Spencer Dinwiddie became a piece of crap. As soon as it went into overtime, I said, it's over. No chance in hell the Nets are going to win this game. The longer this game goes, the more likely the Nets are going to screw up. And sure enough, overtime, complete garbage. Spencer Dinwiddie, going back to the old Spencer Dinwiddie beginning of the year of, bro, you're doing too much. Taking dumb shots, not, turning the ball over, not playing and taking advantage of what the defense gives them. He's just forcing stuff. And of course, Taurean Prince started off great at first, and then he faded into irrelevancy later on. And Garrett Temple, same thing. And it's just the same old crap. And can someone please tell me why Caris LeVert didn't play in the overtime? Caris LeVert is clearly a big player, a big factor for this Nets. He's clearly the 2nd best player on this team right now, arguably the best. He looked really solid in his first game back against the Raptors. Yet I know he had a couple turnovers and this and that, but he looked sharp himself. He was making threes, he was making floaters, he was getting to the basket. He doesn't look out of shape or anything like that. But for some reason, we need to rest him. Because when you have thumb surgery, we all know your cardio is shot to hell, right? So we have to rest Caris LeVert. Load management for a guy who hasn't played in about 2 months, who had surgery on his thumb, and we need to load manage that because all those extra minutes that he might play could be too much for his little thumb. So let's rest him against the Magic, against a team that the Nets should have beaten, but they didn't because they suck. And then let's play him against the Thunder But let's give him a minutes restriction, just like we do with the Raptors. Let's give him a minutes restriction because he's not going to be ready to play because his thumb is going to screw up his cardio. His thumb is going to screw up his rhythm. His thumb is going to screw up his ability to play basketball, which actually that last one is kind of true. But it didn't. We saw that in the Raptors game. So let's rest him against the Magic, and then let's play him with limited capacity against the Thunder, and then when the Nets needed him the most, Kenny Atkinson says, overtime? Should we play LeVert? No, let's just throw Dinwiddie back out there, who's been trashed from the beginning. Why? LeVert was clearly the best player against the Thunder in that game. When he was he perfect? No, but he was better than everything else that the Nets were throwing out there. But we got to stick to the plan. LeVert needs to have this minutes restriction. We got to ease him back into it. You can't afford to ease them back into it. You're 16-20. You're on a 7-game losing streak. I can understand if this was an injury that like a knee surgery or ankle situation or some sort of lower lower body injury that he wasn't able to stay, run and do his cardio and this and that. No, it's not. And you can see it. Caris LeVert's not out of shape. He's in perfect game shape. And I bet if you ask Caris, he feels great. So why aren't the Nets playing him? This isn't an injury where you need to, overusing it and fatigue can hurt him more. It was his thumb. He had thumb surgery. There's no logic behind it. This is a great example of just overdoing it and over trying to protect players when there's no risk here playing LeVert 30 minutes a game because he wasn't. He only played, I think, 16 the first game. I think he played 22 the next game. What's wrong with letting the guy go out there and play 5 more extra minutes in overtime to give your team a chance to win? Is that really to be that taxing on his thumb? But no, Caris didn't play for whatever reason. Nets played like crap in the overtime. Once again, Chris Paul could not miss. And I knew it was going to happen, and now the Nets have lost 7 in a row. They're 16-20. 4 games under 500. And before this, they were 3 games over. And we all know that they need to get the 45 wins. But for them to do that, they need to go 29-17 the rest of the year. And I am telling you right now, the way this team is playing right now, the way things are going, there is no chance in hell that this team is going to go 29-17. There's not. There's not. So I should have just, immediately just throw all my money away. I know I did it online, so I don't actually have a ticket. But if I had a ticket, I should tear it up because it's completely irrelevant now. Or is it? Yeah, we'll transition here. Caris LeVert is back. That part I just talked about. And hopefully now Kenny Atkinson will take him off this minute restriction. With LeVert back, the Nets are going to be better. If LeVert plays his regular 30-ish minutes a game and becomes that second scorer to help Dinwiddie, this team's gonna snap this losing streak soon. I can sense it. Will it be next game against the Heat tomorrow night or tonight, depending on when you watch the video? Probably not, but it really should be the next game against the Hawks, which NetsBoy will be at that game, watching Vince Carter for the last time. Sorry, that's the whole thing. I'll be at that game. They should hopefully snap it then. But with LeVert back, this team is better. It's not this bad. But even then, there's even more slight optimism that this NetsBoy fan is going to try to, bring out. And that is the latest news that Kyrie Irving out of nowhere is participating in practice. After he had literally a week ago a press conference where he said, my shoulder, they're having this issue, we'll reevaluate in a month or two. In a month or two. That's what he said in the press conference a week ago. In a month or two. Maybe Kyrie meant in a week or two, or maybe Kyrie has no idea what exactly he's saying or what, but he definitely said in a month or two. Now all of a sudden we find out he has a second little discussion with the media. He says, everything feels great. The cortisone shot's working. I was able to practice. They practiced 5-on-5 for the first time with contact. And he says, I feel good. We'll reevaluate tomorrow and we'll take a look in another week or so. But I could be back in a week or two. Well, come on, Kyrie, let's go. Finally, come back. I mean, this is probably the best news I've heard in months, and it's the first time I finally feel okay about what's going on with the Nets since they started this disastrous losing streak. Look, will Kyrie fix all the problems? I don't know. Will Caris LeVert fix all the problems? I don't know. But it gives me more hope for this team moving forward. All right, look, I want them to get to 45 wins. We all know why. 29-17 is not impossible if Kyrie does come back in the next week or so. Because that's true. I mean, that's tough, and I don't think it's going to happen. But if Kyrie does come back in a week or two and LeVert gets no minutes restriction, I do believe this Nets team could somehow go 29-17 and get to 45 wins and win money for NetsBoy. But besides that, this team needs to just get better. All right, they're 4 games under 500. This team to me should not finish under 500. This team to me should be better than they did last year. They were 42-40 last year. All right, I think they should do better than that. How much better? I don't know. I know I said 45 is where I thought they'd be. They might only end up going 43-39 the way that they're playing moving forward. But I'll tell you now, they should not be worse than they were last year. All right? And if Kyrie comes back and LeVert has no minutes restriction, I do believe the Nets will have more than 42 wins this year. Will it be 45? I don't know, but it will be more than 42. But if Kenny Atkinson continues to restrict Caris LeVert and Kyrie Irving doesn't come back next week or two, or does come back and gets re-hurt or is a complete piece of trash, because that's someone who needs a minute restriction, okay? Kyrie Irving will need a minute restriction when he comes back because he's dealing with a shooting shoulder. This can cause fatigue after a while. I understand this. This doesn't make sense to why you need to have a minutes restriction. So Kyrie will need a minutes restriction, but that's okay. If this all comes together, maybe the Nets can get this and figure it out, because right now they're the A seed. They're like 4 games up on a number of teams in the playoffs, but the way they're playing now, that's going to go like that. So they need to get it together. LeVert needs to come out and have no restrictions, and Kyrie, if he does come back, maybe the Nets have a chance. Maybe, because I don't know what more I can possibly take of the Nets losing. And they've got to snap this losing streak, and they got to do it fast. So let's look at the next couple games for the Nets. They start off with a game against the Heat. Like I said, either tomorrow or tonight, depending on when you're seeing this episode. Friday night, to be exact, is what we should say. So they start off against the Heat. Look, last time they played the Heat, I thought the Nets could have won that game. I can never say the Nets should win a damn game the way they're playing, but this is a game that they might be able to upset. The Heat are a damn good team, and they're playing really well. But I think that if everything goes right, the Nets could pull this one out. Then they have the Hawks. I just said I'm going to that game to watch Vince Carter for the last time and pay my respects to him. Hopefully he plays more than 8 minutes, but there's no guarantee of that. But regardless of that, that is a game the Nets need to win. They need to beat the Hawks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, all right? They just need to. And the Hawks have been playing a lot better late. I mean, they're still not a good team, but they played better of late. But that's a game that the Nets need to win. Then they have the Jazz at home. The Jazz is another team that I felt the Nets could have beaten the last time they played them. It was a close, competitive game. Those 3 games are all at home. So why can't the Nets win those 3 games? Especially with LeVert back. And then after that, they have the 76ers in Philadelphia. Well, I would say that should be a loss. But same thing. The Nets just beat the 76ers last time they played them. We all know how they beat the 76ers in Philadelphia in game 1 of the playoffs. So it's certainly not impossible to win that game. So the next 4 games, look, I'm not saying the Nets are going to go 4-0, and I'm not even expecting them to go 4-0. But what a great way to respond after a 7-game losing streak. And when everyone's doubting you, and including this Nets fan, to just say, you know what, let's get together. We got LeVert back. He's going to come. He can continue to play well. Let's figure this out right now with this little break. And, this 2-day break between the games. And let's come out. Let's win 4 straight. Will that happen? I doubt it. But you know what? If they go 2-2 in the next 4 games, at least that makes me believe that they have a chance to continue to build. If they go 3-1, I'll be thrilled. So let's see what happens. But these next 4 games, they have to stop this losing streak. They have to win one of these next 4 games for sure. Because if they lose all 4, this season is beyond over. Beyond over. Because 16-24, you might as well just throw in the towel at that point. Because I don't think they're making the playoffs if that happens. So this is a critical stretch. Okay. So there you have it. That was my little rant about mostly LeVert not playing. And, like I said, whatever. I'll give a better feel about this Nets team after the next 4 games. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree with me, of why is LeVert playing more? Dinwiddie being garbage. Kyrie Irving hopefully coming back. And the All-Star stuff, I don't even care. To me right now, no Nets deserve to be an All-Star. I don't care about the way Dinwiddie's been playing. When you lose 7 straight games and you cost me money, then no one's an All-Star. So I'm not even going to talk about that right now. But keep your eyes open to the next episode. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, keep your eyes open for the next NetsBoy. And if you're at the Hawks game and you see me, I say this every year. No one has ever recognized me. Then again, I strongly doubt anyone who's actually watching these videos are at the games. But if you do recognize me, just say, hey, NetsBoy, and that'd be pretty cool. If not, whatever, I'll be there. Keep your eyes open. Next NetsBoy. Till then, NetsBoy, just holding on to as little bit of hope as possible and signing off. When the Nets just can't